we'll start with Kevin right here in the front.
How are you doing, guys? First couple weeks of practice, just what has kind of been the message so far for this start of the season? Obviously, last year there were a lot of highs and lows. What is kind of the message for the first week?
I'll go ahead and go. The messages first couple weeks has been simple. It's just kind of competing as hard as we can, moving guys around, getting them adjusted to all kinds of different spots, and we're just getting after it. We've been blessed. We've had great weather, been able to get outside. We put a great piece of work in the fall and the winter, and finally getting to get on the field and kind of see it live has been a great thing. We've just been super competitive.
Yeah, kind of going along with him, just getting better each and every day. We've been able to get outside a lot, which has been awesome, and just getting ready for the season.
We'll go back to Mason on the left and then Matt.
You guys both had pretty incredible offensive seasons last year. What have you guys been working on in the fall to kind of take that next step?
It's kind of sticking to the same thing that we did last year. Mercer had a great message the last couple of days of sticking to the same routine, the same process that kind of got us to where we are. I know Carter and I both collectively have been working super hard. We know what we need to work on, kind of the small improvements that we kind of needed. I think both of us have kind of taken a step forward offensively, but we've worked super hard defensively. Carter today, example, was working to get an extra 5-ball reads. I've been working on my catching. So I think we've worked offensively, but we've took a step forward defensively as well.
Yeah, same thing, just doing most of the same things we did last year, not changing up a whole lot. But for me personally, just being more consistent, staying through the middle of the field has been a big thing for me this fall. And then, like he said, just focusing a lot on the defensive side as well.
We'll go Matt on your right and then Pete.
Matt, you're one of the older guys on this team just by age, but also just moving into your second year with the team. Do you find yourself having a leadership role in these first few weeks of practice?
I do. I see myself having a leadership role, but I kind of see it being spread out. You look across the board, we have a very mature group, a lot of guys that not necessarily have been here for a long time, but are older. You look at Hunter, Jesse, Phil, Bobby, and you even look at Carter, and then you go down the line, some of the freshmen have taken leadership roles. I think, A.J. Shepard's going to be a great leader here one day. He's already kind of developing what he needs to have to be a leader. Devin Taylor is another guy. So I wouldn't necessarily have one guy that just leads the whole group. I think we have, probably 10 to 12 guys, and that's a great thing to have.
We'll go Pete here on your left and then back to Mason.
Yeah, and I guess Matt and Carter both talk about you both got here in different ways. You transferred, you came in as a freshman. Talk about that and what was it about Indiana that drew you here, and then the opportunity to play on a really strong team?
Yeah, so I obviously got here straight out of high school, and it was always super high on my list coming out of high school. Being from Indiana, growing up a Hoosiers fan, it's an honor to be able to play here. So that was just a big thing for me getting here, and it's been awesome so far.
Mm-hmm. And my journey was a little bit different than Carter's. Coming from junior college, I really didn't know what to expect coming to a 4-year school. But once I got here, I was shocked. The player development here is unmatched. I made the best decision of my life by coming here, and it's just being here at Indiana. It's really grabbed me, and I'm a Hoosier fan now. I'm a Hoosier for life, and I think that's really important. And I think Carter's the exact same way.
Go back to Mason.
Matt, from a catcher's perspective, where have you seen this pitching staff improve this winter?
That's a good question because there's so many different ways that I could go about it. Glenn has done a phenomenal job with our guys, bringing in a lot of new guys. They adapted to what he said. They took what he was saying and applied it very early. They've been put through the ringer. Facing our offense every day is a very challenging task. 1 through 12 guys that we have, can go out there and really hit. And one thing that I've noticed that has been the biggest difference is how competitive the guys are. We've got transfers that have done it for a long time. We've got freshmen, Connor Foley, great guy, super competitive for a freshman, and all the way up to Gabe Levy, who's a senior as well, and he's been through it all. He's super competitive. That's the good thing about our team, and I think it's going to be a great thing for the pitching staff.
Okay, we'll go to Matt up front.
You guys last year are two guys that led the team in home runs, sometimes even in the same series, taking the title away from each other game to game. Do you have any friendly bets, maybe a free dinner if whoever ends up with the most home runs this year?
Should have done that for last year.
Yeah,
but, no, it was It was never a competition, but, we'd joke around here and there when it got close. If I'd hit one, I'd pull away from him. I'd give him a little nudge on the shoulder, be like, your turn. And then same for him. He would do the same if he hit one in a series and pulled away from me. So it was a good competitive nature.
Yeah, we can't forget how Carter took the lead on that at 3:30 in the morning versus Rutgers in an empty stadium. He hits one of the probably more impressive home runs he hit the entire year at that place at that late at night. So that was pretty cool. But no, to his point, it was super fun. I wish nothing but the best for Carter. He's a generational player to come from Indiana, and it's just a pleasure to be in the same conversation as him.
We'll go Pete on your left.
And then can you guys, both talk about the schedule you face? Is what you open with Auburn, I think, in about a week or so? Just the challenges of the non-conference schedule and how that will prepare you for the Big Ten.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's we want to get out there and play the best teams we can. So opening up 3 very competitive weekends is gonna really set us up better for the future, and just giving us the most difficult teams we can face will just make us better.
The Big Ten is always tough. I mean, what do you guys expect going into the Big Ten this season?
It's to win the Big Ten. No, that's our main goal. There's no other way about it. We have the talent. We've worked the way we should. We're competitive from top to bottom. We have the talent to do it, and we have the want to do it. So there's no other expectation but to win the Big Ten.
We'll go back to Mason in the back.
If you guys are able to fulfill that expectation, what will you guys look back on this season and be like, that was the element that was able to propel us to that?
All the work in the off season, I'd say, just putting in work each and every day. Sometimes it gets repetitive, sometimes it gets boring, but it's just stuff you got to do every day. So just looking back at that, knowing all that work paid off.
Go in the front to Kevin.
So we see with Coach Allen and the football team, they kind of have a word to describe their season. Is there a word that you guys would say right now that kind of talks about the attitude of the team or just moving forward?
It's tough because, like I said, there's a lot of words that you could really use. I would just say together. I know the football has a good one with Leo, but together, I think we're really together. I was actually in Bible study a couple nights ago, and a fellow senior catcher, Pete Ceruto, he made a good point of just how united this team is. We're all cheering for each other. We're all pulling for each other. We want to see each other succeed. I want to see Carter at 25 home runs, and he wants to see the same from me. That's a really unique thing, and I feel like that's something that has been lost, hasn't been, where it needs to be, and it's finally here, and it's here to stay at Indiana. So that's a really, really great thing to look at.
Anything else for the guys? If not, thanks, gentlemen.
Thank you, guys.